Hello.
Hey Uti,
How are you?
super good. How about you?
Good, good. Can't wait to start this Insta Live. Can you hear me well? Can you see me well? All good?
Yes, all good. Hope it's the same this side.
Yes, it is. It is perfect. I hope the people are joining. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. We'll wait for a couple of minutes for them to join, and
Right.
then we can start. How has your day been? How has your Saturday been?
So today, because though it's a Saturday, we work in India, right?
Right.
So yeah, but then not much workload now that working from home. So I've been lazy throughout the day, just thinking how this live is going to go, what Uti is going to ask me.
It's so interesting. Hello, Fakhruddin. Hello, everyone. But I just want to share one fun fact. I think Nilesh sir has said the same thing, where he's like, it's suddenly from me taking the vivas, I feel I'm giving the vivas.
It's always like you that's the person that's been asking questions, and now there's somebody who's going to ask you questions, and the world is going to witness it, right? So
So, yes, we have almost like 40 people who have joined. So, hello,
right.
everyone. Thank you for joining. So, yes, but as you know, how even my previous Insta Live has been, it's very candid. So, don't be nervous. From a student to a teacher, don't be nervous. All right, wonderful. As people are still joining, a couple of things that I would like to share before we start talking about our topic for today. One
Right.
thing is for everyone, please do not ask us when the COVID is going to get over, when our things going to restart. We have no clue. So please don't ask us about that. I don't want also people to ask her about ACA ratios and how to do binocular therapy. I'm sure with all the webinars going around, especially even with her, I think she has given a couple of webinars. There's ample of binocular information around. So let's make
Right.
this more fun, more candid. Less optometry, more about life. And
Right.
for all those who haven't heard her podcast, who go to my podcast channel where she shared her journey in optometry. So let us dig more into her life beyond optometry. So that's going to be the topic for today.
Life beyond optometry. Of course, they can ask about life within optometry, but not as you said. How do you do a cover test or how do you diagnose? I think let's just get out of this for a while.
Absolutely. I think my whole idea of Insta Live is to see the other side of all the teachers who have been constantly bombarded with optometry. And I think this would be a good chance for people to know all of you, at a personal level. So thank you everyone for joining and thank you for even being the guest. I think that's wonderful to be in the
Yeah,
spot.
exactly.
All right. So we have good number of people. Hello, Swati. Thank you for joining. Hello, everyone. Hello,
Zulfi,
Zulfi.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he is
Yeah.
exhausted with all his webinars
Yeah.
that they're doing.
Yeah, so good to see you all here. Yeah, yeah, I have my students all the way from Malaysia, and hi Esther. Yeah, hi Zuleka. So yeah, Janet, Anand.
Nice.
Yeah, there's like everybody, love from all over.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I feel. That's the wonder of technology, right? You can go all global.
You know.
Wonderful. So let's quickly start. Before I start, I want to do a quick introduction for everyone who knows, but people who are going to listen to my channel, outside optometry, that you are one of our most famous and loved scientists, optometrist,
Thank you.
mentor, and an inspiration, especially for me because you have literally been my mentor during my master's.
Ah,
And apart from all that, you have tremendous achievements. And now, to add on, you are also a YouTuber. So we're going to really talk about that.
Even I can't believe that I've become a YouTuber. I still don't know if I kind of, follow everything that's really required for a YouTuber. But that's how you learn to swim.
Right. But I have a YouTuber star today. I'm going to stay away from optometry and call you a YouTube star. And that's why, with all the permission, I'm going to try and address you as Riz with lots of love instead of Rizwana ma'am, which is my optometry term for you.
Please. Yeah, that works. It is just works. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, hello everyone for joining, and we're just going to jump in. I'm going to start with a couple of questions, but feel free to ask questions as this is live. We're going to try and pick and answer most of the questions. So, to begin with, what I really want to know, what is the best thing that has happened during COVID with you? I don't know, we're all sad, we're all stuck home, but let's talk about the good side of staying at home.
Okay, so of course the lockdown was so unexpected, and so the first couple of days, I should say, not couple of days, at least for a week, I was quite anxious and nervous as, okay, so what's this whole thing that's happening around, and I couldn't really figure out what to do and stuff like that. But then I understood, okay, this is like a very unique situation for the entire globe. So let me just do something useful. Basically, as always, I would call myself the control freak, just try to put everything under control. I said, this is beyond our control. Let's just get beyond that mindset that I can control everything kinds. So
Absolutely.
yeah, then I said, okay, maybe this is the time to kind of slow down, because um I've always, not always, off late, I thought like, it's time to kind of slow down and really think about the race that you're running. Like, is this the race that I really want to run? Is this the goal that I really want to move towards? So I gave really a lot of time just introspecting and reflecting as, is this the journey that I really want to be going through? And then the best thing that happened is the time that I got to spend with my family, because 15 years, it's always been running and, going over to the hospital, see patients, then go teach, then come back home and then, write the research papers, just the Sundays for sleeping. But then now you have
Right.
all the 7 days right in front of you, and the entire timing is under your own flexibility, at least to a certain extent. So
Right.
personally, I should say I spent a lot of time just doing nothing, just
That's very unlike of you. Doing nothing is kind of a new normal for you, I think, for that phase.
you really have to learn doing that. Like, somebody I heard saying that we're all like human beings, not human doings, but then we've all, like, we've been doing that, we forgot the being part of us. So okay,
Absolutely.
let's just try to become that human being. So I spend a lot of time meditating and reflecting and writing my journals and stuff like that. And as I told, spend a lot of time with family. And I finished a couple of things that I thought will be useful after this COVID situation,
Right.
which was, I always wanted to do a lot of mentoring for students. So I finished a course in NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and I'm just wrapping up a life coaching certification this week.
Oh,
And
wow. Actually, someone just commented, Riz ma'am, doing nothing is impossible. And you actually proved that person right. Manu Manasi just said that she doing nothing is impossible, and you just proved her right. And I also see someone comment telling Riz is bliss, and it just caught my attention. So yes, Riz is bliss.
thanks, guys. Thanks. It's equally blissful to have all of you. So I kind of started to innovate quite a bit of things, because I used to go to the gym to work out regularly, but now gym is closed. But still, you have to keep yourself fit. So I found out innovative ways to still, sweat that out within home. Most important, I think the best thing is, see, now you see this place here. This is just 100 square foot small room. This is the bedroom. This is the office room. This is the podcast room. This is the webinar room. So I can turn the camera around in each corner, and then it becomes it's a comfortable room. So that's the best innovation that I managed to do in this lockdown.
So that's awesome. You were able to have different. Now you are actually disclosing the secret. Well, people were like, oh, in the webinar, she has her own office. Turn around and it's your Insta live room.
No, guys, if you come, you will see, right? You can't walk past me. But Indian jugaad is like that, right?
Oh,
You just find things that you otherwise you cannot imagine. I think this lockdown has stirred that creativity within all of us for sure. I mean, same experience must have been for you, Upti.
absolutely. I think another thing that you just mentioned about Jugaad, it actually was part of my negotiation class when I did my MBA. They actually have Indian Jugaad as one of the topic which they call, which is part of the curriculum. So I feel Indian Jugaad is super famous, and we all are like inbuilt with that quality.
Awesome, awesome.
All
Seriously.
right. So, everyone who is joining, welcome. Once again, I want to remind no questions regarding ACA ratio, cover test, no optometry. But yes, general optometry questions are more than welcome if you want to ask her. And do start putting questions. So I'll be asking questions that you want to ask her and also be adding my few questions as well. So while we still waiting, okay, so we have a question from Fatima. I'm really inspired from you, ma'am. Someday would love to do research under your supervision. Currently, I'm a third year bachelor's, love from Kolkata. Oh, wonderful. Yes, do research under her observation. I think I was one of the worst students, and I did less research than what she did. Honest confession on this platform, but she is the most patient and a lovely mentor to do research with. I would do all the shitty work and she would sit and clean for me.
That's so nice of you, the as such. But then I should tell the truth also the other side. Uti, first of all, congratulations on your 25,000 downloads, right? On
Thank you.
your podcast. Yeah. So all of you just give whatever, put those nice smileys and claps and cheers for Uti, because she's also like over the last five years, I guess, right, Uti?
Right.
post
Yeah.
Postmasters, like the way you've kind of grown up, especially in the tech world, just becoming a podcaster, doing these Insta stuff, and integrating optometry with technology. You're going places, man.
Thank you. Thank you. It's all because you people are ready to be in the spot. I have chosen the nice space of being an interviewer and keeping everyone else in the spot.
As you rightly said, it's an opportunity for the student to conduct a viva for the teacher, right?
Absolutely. So I have someone who is joined from South Africa. Hi Urvashi, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. I'm sure she's one of your students. Uh,
Hello,
and
Missy. So glad to
we
have you here.
we have a question from Manu. The question is, how are you managing everything, ma'am? Like the family, research, taking care of master, student curriculum, and now even you're ruling the technology too. So, a question for a YouTuber now.
Uh, Manasi has been behind me asking this question almost for the last 1 year, and finally she caught hold of me on the Insta Live platform.
So this platform does not excuse anyone.
Yeah, I can't escape Manasi this time. First of all, it's so kind of you to take me as who I am. When you look from outside, it will look like as if I'm messing around with so many things, but then it's all your kindness that's kind of helped me do things imperfectly, I should say. So it's not that I do all things at the same time, right? So when I'm into one, I kind of develop this focus. Like I can kind of tune myself into that task alone. So if I'm just with family, then I've learned to shut down everything else. It didn't happen overnight, but you can listen to the podcast I did with Upti,
Yeah.
where I really speak about this aspect. But as you grow in life, of course, Manasi and everybody here, you're all going to, kind of land up with so many responsibilities. and you're not going to escape from it, but it's about how you allocate and how you prioritize one at a time. So when I'm really like, on to writing that syllabus or curriculum or working with you guys, my mind is just with you guys. It just doesn't go anywhere else. And then when I switch to the next task, then it's just that task, and this doesn't come into the picture. And then as you know, I'm like a mad scheduler. So I always have a scheduler with me. And then time to time, hour to hour, minute to minute, I have my schedule in place. And of course, I can talk about how to schedule and how to prioritize your tasks and get things done later. But then that really helps me to prioritize things, because initially what I did was, the biggest mistake I did was I was ignoring a lot of family front issues and just was on to work most of the time. Then I realized how important family is as a support system. Then I started to schedule family also into the scheduler. And then so the time with your husband, with your kids, with your mother, all that becomes part of your schedule.
Right.
Though
Yeah.
it sound a little bit absurd, but that's how it works for me. So it's doable, Manasi, very much doable.
Yeah, I think I feel just to add there a little bit is, even from my personal experience, we are really bad at prioritizing. For example, you want to work, you want to kind of do something, outside optometry, and if you are a housewife, or if you're with family, you want to do the dishes the same day. Like if you don't clean the house, you won't sleep. So you have to prioritize what's important. Like, is cleaning at that moment more important than spending time with your family? So I feel those are small things which we need to kind of understand and pick the right battle instead of going all over the place.
Well said. Manasi, if you come home at night, 11 o'clock, you might see me sweeping the floor sometimes. So sometimes I become that obsessive cleanliness disorder person. But that's the messy you that you have to accept. Sometimes you have to let go, sometimes you have to let certain things in. But you
Yeah.
will learn as you just move forward, you will learn this managing without the so-called balance. So I don't believe in that balance. I think Kemraj is asking, how are
Yeah.
you balancing the family and your ambitious dreams?
So Khemraj started with a superwoman. So let's go to superwoman Riz.
And Kemraj, you're a superman. At least, I got an opportunity to listen to Kemraj recently, I guess, like 7-8 months back, if I'm not wrong. And Kemraj, you are super awesome as well. I really appreciate that superstar within you, the growth that you've seen. And so it's so kind of you to appreciate another soul. So first, thanks for that. And so as usual, like, dreams are dreams. Like, you have to hold on to your dreams, and do not let the dream go for anybody, because especially being a woman, we are so fragile in that. Like, we always say, okay, now that I'm married, I think I can give away this dream. And sometimes, now that I'm married, I can postpone this dream for a while. It's all okay, but don't give away your dream for anything or everything. That's very, very important. Just keep a track of your dream. If that's like that burning desire within you, it's not
Right.
letting you sleep. You have to go behind it. Whatsoever happens, burn any
Right.
bridge that you want, but get it done. And if you want to know how to burn that bridge, call me.
Fun fact here. So I am married to an engineer. Now he knows a lot about optometry because he's forced to listen to all the work I do. So if they don't let you follow your dream, make them part of your dream.
Well said, exactly. That's really a nice statement, Rukti. I'm going to borrow that from you. So,
Absolutely, all yours, for everyone, all yours. So there's someone who has asked, can you give ideas towards creativity? Shilpi Singh.
okay. So please give us ideas towards creativity. Okay, so Shilpi, actually, this is one of the questions I had, like, within myself a few years back. Am I really creative? Like, when you're working with a very well-established system, you all have this, you have your duties and responsibilities defined, and you just have to do it. You don't need to do anything beyond the box. But then the world was really completely moving out, and you have to really, like, in a way, think out of the box. So creativity is a mandatory aspect of every person, for that matter, whether you are in your kindergarten or whether you are in your college and post graduation or whatever it is. But the whole thing is, it's part of us as human beings. We are all born with that creativity and the curiosity. If you really see an infant, it's all the time meddling with stuff and trying to find what's there within, and trying to even eat those dirty mud to see what is within. It never feared. But as we grew up, our environment killed that inquisitiveness within us. Either the environment or people around us telling, don't do this, don't do that, don't explore this, don't explore that. And that's how we lose our creativity. So it's always within us. One of the ways that I do, or I kind of make sure that I think, I create or I remain creative, is whenever there is a problem statement in front of me and then there's a conventional answer to it, I will just kind of I'll not find the answer immediately. I'll just let that sleep within my mind at least for a couple of days. And automatically, as I keep thinking about it, I get 3-4 ideas popping in from different directions as how we can engage or how we can work it out. Then I have a nice set of students and colleagues with whom I will put forth this idea. It's like all foolish, stupid stuff that will be coming out of your mind. But then I never mind about being that foolish person, because it's okay. That's how you create things. And then I open up these ideas and then do a brainstorming session, and then the ideas get refined and things like that. That's how we've been able to even innovate or create stuff in the clinical setup, and with all our research and things like that. So just keep falling a couple of times, multiple times, and creativity is just within you. You have to go find yourself within.
Right. And I feel along with creativity, there's another thing which I would like to point here. Just don't blindly copy because someone is doing it. I feel that kind of feels creative, but it might kill what you actually want to achieve. So find your own love space and then follow and build your creativity around it. You can take inspiration from others, but don't try to just copy it just because you felt someone did was creative. I think that's one thing which it's a fine line there.
Very true.
So we have someone, Aishwarya R.A. She's asking, ma'am, what is your reflections from your recent trip to Darjeeling and other places? So now people actually know your journey.
So Aishwarya, thanks for asking that question, because that's a very unforgettable trip, I should say, because we planned it long back, because I had to give a talk in Siliguri. So an optometry BV talk in Siliguri. So we said, okay, I'm going all the way up to Siliguri. Why don't we just go in and around there? And we planned this whole trip. And then we planned a family trip. I go there, I give the talk. My family lands the next day, and then the whole COVID thing strikes. Okay. So everything is closed. People say, don't go here, don't go there. And the prime concern was just to get back home. But even then, what really happened was this. Of course, Siliguri, I think Sikkim and Gangtok, even still now, there are no COVID cases, touch wood. So God bless. And so what we did is we kind of, overnight, we changed the entire plan. And of course, we had this plan of going to these Buddhist monasteries and then, take some time just being alone and stuff like that. So we went to all these unexplored places, not the regular tourist spots, but the ones which are not crowded, these monasteries and things like that. So again, that's how sometimes destiny will let you explore the unexplored by giving these opportunities. So we took those 2-3 days to do that, and it gave us more insights, I should say, and more quietliness and more peacefulness, more peace for us within, than just following your, as Ukti said, just don't follow the footsteps of somebody else. So we just didn't go and do the regular Darjeeling sightseeing, but then took complete
unexplored.
Yeah, and then we came back home safely, and then so it's by almost March 2021 we were back home, and that's when the whole shutdown thing started, the lockdown started. So yeah, but still it's a very memorable trip, and a lot of lessons as such. Yeah.
Wonderful. I think someone also asked about your music classes. Are you still, are they still on or not?
So as a person who just messes around with so many things, as you said, don't let your dreams die, right? So, so this, I think this music and this creative arts and all this was always a part of me. especially from my grandmother. Like she would admire my, this whole music stuff and dance and things like that, which I didn't really explore for a while. And I've just started to explore, but purposefully I put it aside because I wanted to finish a couple of things before I move ahead with that. But I will definitely do, and maybe in an Insta live soon, I will sing a song for all of you.
Yes, we'll have a special performance Insta live that you've announced. So everyone,
No, but not today.
you can actually hum a music. Maybe that would be our ending day. You can just hum. If I sing, I'm sure nobody's going to ever join Insta live again. I cannot sing, not even in the bathroom. But for you, just because you said, we'll have a quick short session with you. So there is someone who, I think Pakrudin asked, you are an inspiration to many. Who is your idol?
Okay, so I have many inspirations. Of course, you have an inspiration at home, all of us, right? So my grandmother is the biggest inspiration. So if you listen to my YouTube channel, you will know more about her. And so she's behind the story, behind the cap also, like the reason why I wear the cap in this Let the Soul Speak. So she's always been that kind of soul that has instigated this sense of freedom and ability to fight, for what you want. So she's been my biggest inspiration, all-time inspiration. But then later, after I started to read and explore and then meet people, I've also, made sure that I seek inspiration from everybody. It's not like, to me, every one of you is an inspiration, I would say. Like, I just look at all the good things within each and every person, be it a kid or an adult or my colleague or student or whoever it is. But the biggest inspirations, of course, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, and in the leadership world, I have Simon Sinek and Brené Whitney Johnson. So these are all my leadership level inspirations that I read and look forward to, and but I keep seeking inspiration at workplace. When you ask about my profession, then Dr. Badrinath, who's the founder of our institution, so he's been my my guru, mentor, and my inspiration in terms of setting up a foundation for many people to emulate and follow, and not again following the regular norms, and how to really think out of the box and serve people at a bigger level. So yeah.
I think he's inspiration for many of us. So I think now people are actually very much interested. Ma'am, what's your favorite food? And do you ever have a cheat day in your diet schedule?
Anything that my mom cooks is my favorite. Cheat day, of course, just be behind me, and those moments when I just put those dark chocolates and so whenever we are outside, like, most in the United States, we get to kind of roam around a bit, and then when we see these Haagen-Dazs or whatsoever it is, you would sneak in and eat. So dark chocolates and ice creams are always like my favorite. But then I wouldn't indulge on it too much, because the moment you indulge on anything more than required, then you lose that whatever the taste that you have for it. So I always keep it when I really feel like I need it. Favorite food, I would say, is my mom cooked biryani. So yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So there's one question which someone has asked, which is so fantastic, and I think I have that question too. It is Amitabh Omik 08. I'm sorry, Instagram has really different names, so I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. But I never saw Rizwana ma'am getting angry anytime. I agree, and I vouch for that 100%. Can you tell the secret behind it? I'm not sure if I should ask this question to your kids, but
maybe you should ask them, and they are the right people to comment about it. So, Ami, thanks for considering me as a very kind and compassionate person. So, but I will give you a much deeper answer to this, because sometimes when you always see the lighter side of a person, we never know the darker side of that person as well, right? So, of course, I get angry, I get frustrated. But the way I've handled my anger and frustration has changed over a period of time with my meditation practice and things like that. So there's always the saying, like, the more pain and suffering that you undergo as a person, then it also opens up the doors to more kindness and compassion towards others, because you don't want to put the other person through that same pain and suffering. So
Right.
I should say, like, I've kind of seen the pain of anger and other things, how it's impacted me as such, as a person, like the receiver, being on the receiving
Right.
side of it. So I'm always very conscious about what it really does to a person as such, like how much it hurts and how much it can shake your inner world and things like that. So I'm very conscious about my words, and then even with my kids for that matter. So I've been, I think, once really angry with my elder son, and I think I also slapped him a little bit, and then that's the worst episode ever. And I took a decision that day. This is like 11 years back, I guess. And then I decided not to really vent out your anger in that form on anybody. So anger is only, like, you, all of us have reasons for that anger, and we can always justify. But the moment you realize about, like, there's this famous story that goes like, you just keep nailing on a board or whatever, you take away those nails, but then the holes that you've left
Right.
always remain on the surface.
Absolutely.
So the moment you know that the hurt is going to long forever, you will not actually really think about being unkind to any human being. And I think you are not really achieving anything out of being angry. So having said that, a lot of students I hear, do not try to play games with me.
This converse, whatever. So everyone who's joined Insta Live, remember, whatever happens on Insta Live stays on Insta Live. Please don't take it.
But there are ways to really, of course, go. So anger is different, and ability to get what you want to get done, like, that's entirely different. So you have a lot of creative strategies to get things done, okay? But being a little bit adamant and, just telling, okay, don't just come back with that finished work and things like that. So I'll teach you all that, Amit, later.
There's someone who's saying I'm listening and live recording. So okay.
This is completely
Whatever you record, remember, whatever happens on Insta Live stays on Insta Live.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. So there's someone who's asked a wonderful question, but before I go to that question, I want to ask one question myself. Is about your YouTube channel, Let the Soul Speak. I think what was your idea behind it? What was your inspiration? Because I know personally, as much adorable person you are, you're also an introvert. So, going out on YouTube, being a YouTuber, I'm sure would be a challenge itself for you to, just let yourself open in the world. So can you share a little bit on your YouTube channel, and I'll go to the question from Butterfinger. I think that's the name.
Thanks, Upti, for asking that question. So those of you who are not following the YouTube channel, I think Upti has got a link, so you should go and watch it. And first, I agree with your observation that I'm an introvert. Introvert in the sense, like, I like being alone. I don't really go out and put that extra efforts to get a friendship or to talk to somebody or things like that. But at some point, as part of my, like, seeking knowledge, I realized that if you kind of take in so much and without sharing whatever that is inside, like, any accumulation of knowledge without sharing is toxic.
Right.
Same thing is like any or even if you have experience, and if you're not going to share that experience and the wisdom that you've learned out of it, again, it's like, because some people see knowledge is so secretive. Like in school, we'll do, right? People will ask before exams, have you finished the chapter? No, I didn't study. No. I'm really ashamed of myself, because if I had admitted to the fact that yes, I studied and I had shared it with that person, my learning also would have, like, kind of gotten enhanced, and I would have got an opportunity to revise it, right?
Absolutely. You're making so many people feel guilty at this point.
But seriously, I was like a dumber at school. Like, whenever people would ask me, No, I am not at all prepared. Like, I didn't study. Then after the exam papers, how did you manage to get centum? How did you manage to get 100 on? Oh my God, as if I studied the previous night. No. So that's the point. Like, at some point, you really want to share that knowledge, share that experience, and if it can help somebody, then what more that you really, want, right? So that's why I said, okay, let me just break open these doors of being an introvert, and then see how people are receptive to this idea of sharing experiences and life's lessons. Because, see, I'm not sharing anything up and above what the spiritual leaders are saying, or there are these YouTubers who have million and billion followers and stuff like that. But we have a world, like we have these 51 people who are live today for us, who are listening and asking questions. So to this world, if it can mean something, if we can trigger a little bit of positivity, so that everybody comes out of their shell, and even talking about your experience, your pain and your suffering, and not like, because many people, when they see the success, they don't see this whole
Journey behind it.
journey behind it, right? So but then when you share it, then they'll also get the confidence. Okay, so we are all on the same boat. Like, okay, let's just travel, sail together, and let's just face this pain together. And so
Absolutely.
I wanted to instigate the confidence in the among fellow souls, and that's the reason why I went out to the YouTube and started Let the Soul Speak. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it is the name itself is so amazing, Let the Soul Speak, and it is amazing to see the points and the topics that you were talking. Some of things are extremely personal, your life stories. If people have not heard it, just do and promote and share it with everyone beyond optometry, because it has personally helped me think life, whether you talk about work-life balance, whether you talk about mental health, whether you talk about physical health. I think she shared and touched upon so many other important topic, which is for everyone, not just for optometrists. So someone following the idea behind all this has asked, how do you manage during your low time? Let me go to, okay. What do you do on your low days? How do you manage those days when people around you always look for positivity? I think this is a fantastic question. When you are low, but people are looking for positivity.
Okay, so what do I do when I'm really depressed? Is that, or when I'm really feeling low, right?
Yeah. But
Okay.
there are students around asking questions about, ma'am, I have these problems. Please guide me.
Right. So of course, being an empath myself, there are a lot of chances that you can feel low, right? So all of you, most of I think the gang that's here, I think are optoms, and of course people in the healthcare. At the end of the day, after listening to a patient story, all of us feel a little bit sad at the end of the day. So there are lots of opportunities for us to really feel low, but the only thing is just to be very kind to your own self. So the moment I feel low, then what I do is I just take a break, like at least for a couple of minutes, and then I sit and then I listen to my soul. Like, okay, so why are you being like this? What's this whole pain that's bothering you? If it is something that is moldable, something that's under my control, something that I can really work on, then of course, you get the confidence. But if it's beyond, for example, this COVID-19 situation, if all of
Right.
us are feeling low about this whole pandemic, but what can we do except for staying home, staying safe, and whoever is in the front line just serving with all those PPEs on? What else can we do? So if it's beyond my control, I just leave it to the higher power to just take care of it. But even otherwise, I have the super confidence in something greater than our own self, that will meddle and put things in order. And so feeling low is always part and parcel of life. But when you look at the bright side, so I do two practices. One is to just sit quiet, reflect about this, the reason behind this depression, and what can I do. If I can do something about it, I put out a plan. I always have a notebook with me. If you see, I always roam around with a notebook, and that's what is inside that notebook.
So now you're even sharing a secret diary. Okay, people, want to look into that book, positivity.
Yeah, second thing is to look at the bright side of it, which is, okay, what can we learn from this experience? What can I really feel grateful about it, for all the things that are really going well right at this moment? So these are the two practices that I do, and it immediately cheers me up no matter what. Even if I'm still not able to get up, then I just watch something very comical, like a fun movie or whatever that can get the laughing muscles out. I just watch something, just laugh out loud and keep moving forward. Yeah.
That is awesome. Another question that someone has asked is, this is something even I wanted to ask, is you have accomplished a lot in terms of, you have really set standards for all optometrists out there, and you're still extremely approachable. You're very down to earth. I've never ever seen you behave or even make any other person feel that, oh, you know what, you're just probably an optometry student. I am a diplomat of American Academy and a scientist and a researcher. Those kind of a things which I'm sure sometimes even unintentionally that comes across uh, by some people. How do you manage to stay so grounded? Especially, I think it is important for all of us to understand and remember as well. If you can talk about that.
Oh my God. So I think again my grandmother has been a major inspiration for me. She didn't have a very formal education, but then she accomplished. She was a phenomenal writer, and she even worked for the Sri Lankan radio and things like that. But then you would see her going on roads and helping all those homeless people and things like that. But she would always stay very, very humble, and she taught me, I guess, very, very early in life that being humble or staying with that humility will actually help you to go up and up and up. And then I also have what I call as a challenge network. Like, I have a couple of people who will critically review my, like, even now when I'm doing this video or when I give a professional talk, they will find all the bad things in that. Okay, so these are this challenge network. They'll say like, you made a very terrible statement. And very early in life, like 4 5 years back, so one of my mentor did this. He was telling me like, Riz, when you were talking and somebody was asking you that question, and the moment you answered, you said, you know what, the way you answered, the tone with which you answered sounded as if like, oh, you didn't even understand this, like kinds, oh, it's just
Right.
simple kinds. But though
Right.
I really didn't mean it very consciously, maybe subconsciously I had this kind
Exactly.
of ego popping out. So there's always somebody who you needs to have to do that ego check for you. If that's what I call it as a challenge network.
Right.
So I still have that network intact. So whenever I do something very new, or even after every of my YouTube talks, or even something like this which I do like completely new, my YouTube thing, I would just go ahead and take the, so they are like more than willing to give me that critical feedback. And then
Right.
they will tell me like, this didn't really sound like you, just check
Right.
it out. That's what they'll
Right.
say, just one line. Okay.
Yeah.
And have people, because many times we'll try to stay away from these people because you think that they are doing bad things for you, because it's not about people, it's not like discouraging you, but these are people who really love you and want you to grow in life. There are also the other side, okay, which will tell, hey, it really looks so damn boring, and without giving that constructive feedback. Don't listen to those people and don't
Yeah.
stop your dreams. No, don't give your ears to those dumb idiots who don't actually do anything at all, but only give negative feedback,
Yeah. Absolutely.
right? So, but you have to listen to those people who give that constructive feedback. They'll also tell you, Riz, you have to maybe think like this, maybe think like that. So, I have this challenge network who keeps a check on me all the time, including my mom. She will tell me like, okay, stay grounded. You're flying now. Okay, come back to the ground.
I think moms have this untold responsibility of keeping us grounded. I think it's same with my mom. Irrespective of whatever I do, she'll come back and say, "Have you cleaned this? Have you done this? Have you finished this work?" So I think I might do whatever in my life. They'll still be like, "You don't know how to do X, Y, Z in the house." So they are our source. Also, I feel I have actually heard this wonderful statement, which I would like to share is, if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. So try to be in a group which inspires you and, helps you grow. And as you rightly said, take constructive feedback. There'll be tons of people trying to pull you down, but do not get, disheartened by that. Just keep following your heart and your dream. And I would like to add that let your soul speak.
Exactly. Just let the soul speak. Yes.
Wonderful. So we do have someone else who has Anand has mentioned, ma'am, I know you are a big fan of Mahakavi. Your favorite lines of him which impacted you or which thrives you in your life.
Okay, thanks for that question. So that's going to make me speak in Tamil a little bit, Ukti. So you may not even understand one word of it. So to all those who are listening to me, I'm speaking in English the whole episode because Ukti knows English and Hindi. My Hindi is butler Hindi. So if I speak Hindi, you'll all run away. But then we have a plan of doing another Insta live in Tamil. Okay, so just keep following my Insta
Wonderful.
page for that Tamil episode. But now that this question has come, so yes, Mahakavi is my great inspiration, and somebody else was asking me the reason behind this cap, right? So
Yeah.
Mahakavi wears a turban. So Mahakavi basically Ukti is a Tamil poet.
Right.
He's called Mahakavi Subramania Bharatiyar. You might have heard as Bharati.
Yeah.
He was a a great poet, but a poet who stood for feminism. So he would appreciate the divine feminine to that extent that he would see every female to have the divinity within her, and all his poems are only in and around the whole female community. And so my grandmother would just sing this every other day, and she would call me as the female version of Mahakavi. So because Mahakavi have this turban, she would say you are that female version without the turban. And just as as my honor to my grandmother, so I thought maybe because she's not there with me now, like as part of her soul speaking to me, I have this cap that kind of remains me. That this whole concept of divine feminism and whatever that she taught me is kind of staying with me forever. And so that's the only reason behind this cap. Okay, otherwise, see, I have a very nice
Summer haircut. You have a perfect summer
yeah,
haircut.
I have a summer haircut. Yeah. So I can be like this for maybe next 5-10 minutes until we finish this off. So that those lines that really resonates with me are he talks about மனதில் உறுதி வேண்டும் வாழ்வினிலே தெளிவு மனதில் உறுதி வேண்டும், which means like you have to have the conviction in the heart.
Right.
Okay? And you have to have clarity in your life. Okay, so and நினைவு நல்லது வேண்டும், which means you have to think only good things. And நெருங்கிய பொருள் கைப்பட வேண்டும், which means whatever you think, let you manifest that. Okay?
Wonderful.
Whenever you have this kindness in heart, clarity in mind, and then just move forward with what you want to do, you will manifest whatever that you seek for. And that is something like that's always like stayed with me as my favorite lines from Mahakavi.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I think taking forward from that line and that thing you mentioned, I want to talk about one very important thing, which I think your YouTube channel very nicely is focusing in, different aspects and different episodes, is how important it is important for everyone, but I want to stick to a little more on optometry side because this is an optometry student, is the importance of mental as well as physical health. I know you talk a lot about meditation and positivity, positive quotes, but if you can share a little more insight on, importance of mental health, especially during COVID, because now as much as people at home, I think at some point they're even drowned with webinars and these sessions. So there is a fine balance. If you can, share your thoughts on mental health and physical health, importance of that.
Yeah, you see, as a community, especially now, you have seen both the worlds, Ukti. Like you've been in India, now that you've spent a lot of time in the US, you know how much importance these, Western countries give to mental health as such. Like you always have a counselor to call, you have somebody to pick up these issues. But then, unfortunately, this concept of mental health, I guess, is poorly understood in our community. The moment we speak about mental health, they only think about those extreme psychic situations where you want to lock yourself up and then, go to that extreme. We're not talking about that. We're talking about these just the lows that every one of us might feel every other day. Now, this with COVID situation, this anxiety that's pumping deep within our heart. So mental health is so very important on many fronts. because when I really look back as part of Let the Soul Speak YouTube channel about my own reflections and life. I've had like very tough times during my, I think, 5 years and 6 years of age, during those timings when I really wanted to share those pain and those sufferings to somebody. And I've not had the courage to express what I was just undergoing at that time, like especially like, you know, these issues of anxiety and things popping up at a much early stage in life. And when I moved to adolescence, again, I had a time when I really needed somebody to hear my story, like, you know, and then I was like feeling so frustrated. And then it continued for a while, even after I joined for work, continued to do my master's and PhD. This whole aspect of this emotional disturbances and mental health and everything was all coming back to me as different forms of all these childhood traumas. Like, you know, I've carried it so much. I'm going to talk about in one another episode very detailed how important it is to ensure that your kids have really good you know, mental health. I realized so people at work, the moment they see me very depressed, they would you know, start calling me like, okay, Riz has started to play the violin, which means I'm like, you know, I would shut down myself. I will not speak to anybody. So my depression was so very visible. And then it went on for a year, and then somehow I found a friend who did that counseling for me, all the way from, you know, outside the country. And then he listened to the whole stories and everything. And that's when I really understood the need of letting your emotions out, letting your traumas out, and then finding ways to heal your own pain and suffering, be it whatever, like those you know, be it issues with parents, or be it issues with siblings, or be it issues with community, or abusive, you know, whatever, like, you know, episodes that you faced in life. But it's always important to understand that your mental health is so very important to you, because you can never underestimate the impact of it. So when I took my mental health for granted, it affected my cognition, which means my thinking ability, problem solving ability, my ability to be very creative. I was always like, you know, I used to be like very outspoken in the sense like I can speak well, public speaking, I can write well. But then I stopped all of it for quite some years because of these unhealed traumas that were all lying inside. So mental health, guys, is so very important, and it is very, very important to find that supportive community, be it within the family, most important, so that you don't want to let your stories out to the world, because you never know how people will treat you. Or if you have a trusted community, then it's important to seek that counseling. Like now that people like us, you know, the reason why I did my NLP and life coaching and certification and all that is to listen to these stories and offer useful advice when it comes to mental health, not just like speak from my own experience.
Right.
So mental health is very, very important, Ukti, and that's when meditation came into the picture. So my friend, like 5 years back, he suggested that, okay, I think meditation is a way really, I was thinking of meditation as a woo-woo thing. And then he said, no, it's not a woo-woo thing. It's all about self-regulation. Even in a minute, you can meditate. Within a minute, you can meditate. You can get your emotions back on track, not like sit for 2 hours or an hour and then do it. So that's a key aspect. Yeah. Yes, you wanted to say something.
No, I agree. I feel when it comes to meditation, many people have not much clarity, but I think what you rightly said, it's all about just bringing your thoughts together is very, very important. Go ahead.
Yeah. And social media plays an important role in spoiling your mental health, because the moment you speak these happy selfies and happy family photos or whatsoever it is, it's so much color that many times we really don't see the true picture behind it, and we think that everybody is happy except me, and then I'm suffering within. And then no, everybody is suffering. Don't worry, everybody have we all have our own stories behind. So don't really get that too personal. And coming to physical health, it's so much integrated with mental health, because as I was telling you, like the holistic approach to health in one of those episodes, the moment you get your emotions back on track and you get your purpose aligned with your passion and, you know, things like that, then it's so you will understand why it's so important to keep your physical health also under check. Because if the vehicle is not oiled, it's not going to take you to the destination, right? You have the super dream, you have booked your tickets, but this whole vehicle is now rusted and it's just lying in one garage, and you can't even move that vehicle out. So so destination will remain forever and until you clean up this. So physical health is another important aspect. So it's just 10 minutes and 15 minutes of that physical activity that you can do every day can do so much to your mental health. It can
Right.
even scientifically, like, so much proven that how much of happy neurotransmitters and chemicals like these serotonin and dopamine it's going to release in your brain, that's going to boost your mental health within like 5 minutes and 10 minutes. So physical
Absolutely.
has such an intricate connection with mental health, and we can speak for hours on this.
I absolutely, but I think it is very important topic, and you have covered a lot in your YouTube, one of your YouTube videos. So do check it out. I have actually asked you to share that entire list for my reference, and I have it on my Pinterest to keep me boosted to 15 minutes of workout, a little bit of a meditation, something to keep you positive. But I completely stand by that it is extremely important, and do take care of it. Do not let it just give less importance and give importance to everything else other than the mental health. Another thing I think I'm hearing up is okay. So I have help people heal. I think Hemraj mentioned a very important thing. So happy we have someone within optometry to heal, and Riz ma'am is going to receive so many requests for help. Another thing I feel is very important when someone is sharing, something which is very personal. Try not to, make fun of it or share it around. It's very important to respect that space as someone is trying to share their mental problem. If you can't give advice, don't go the other route. So if you can't give advice, just be into that trust circle. I think that's very important.
Very important. Okay, I've had even bad experiences on that front also. So it's
Yeah,
so important to keep somebody else's privacy as important as your own privacy. Yeah.
absolutely. So going on a little fun side, there's someone who has mentioned, I'm going to attempt, I don't know if I can even say this right. It says Akka Kunjam Tamila Pasunga Akka. I don't know what it
அக்கா
is.
கொஞ்சம் தமிழ்ல பேசுங்க. Okay, so for that brother who's asking me to speak in Tamil, so he's
Okay.
saying, sister, please speak in Tamil. So I will do one more episode. நான் இன்னொரு எபிசோட் பண்றேன், அதுல ஃபுல்லா தமிழ்ல பேசுறேன். சீக்கிரமே.
Wonderful. So we have Sharat Kakkar who said he's your secret follower. So you have a secret follower as well.
Thank you, Sharad, and everyone who's like, I'm just scrolling through these comments, and thank you, Kim, for those very, very kind words. I don't know how much I can heal, but through sharing of my experiences, if somebody else gets that healing or confidence, I really feel very blessed. Yeah.
Wonderful. I think there's someone who mentioned that they want to be an inspirational speaker, and you are the inspiration for them. So that
Oh
is
my
wonderful.
So
And I think
glad.
people are loving you speak in Tamil, though I do not understand a single word. But feel free to respond in Tamil or your language. I think they'll have more fun. All right. So another thing that I would like to ask is, during this COVID, if there was something that the positive side we did talk, but something that has stuck with you as a silver lining, prepare for the new normal or the different terms they're now using, what would that be?
So you were asking about what's that going to guide me from now on, like what's that mantra or statement or whatever it
It's like a final mantra before we end this.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's saying it has few seconds remaining. In case this disconnects, I am so sorry. Usually it shows timer, a little ahead in time, but I might think this might end if it ends. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm just surprised to